Welcome back, everybody, to the Nevin Shapiro Show. I'm Mike Torado. I'm here with Nevin Shapiro. And listen, today, this is a big day for us. We usually bring you only one legend, but we know on the Nevin Shapiro Show, we just decided to bring two legends to you.
And throw me in, Mike.
Three legends, all in one. We got three legends sitting here. I'm just the peon. I'm the little guy. I'm the crumb on the floor. So we're going to get into it. But let me introduce the first guest. This guy won 158 games at the University of Miami as an assistant coach under Jimmy Johnson and under Butch Davis. He also was Willis McGahee's coach, who we have on the show today. I'll introduce him in a second. He won the 1987 National Championship and the 2001 National Championship. Please, everybody, let's welcome Coach Don Soldinger to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Man.
Awesome, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Awesome, Coach. Awesome,
One
Coach.
statement before you introduce our next guest. What a thrill for me. Thrill.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking legend
you,
for real, man.
Yep. Listen, we had him on 2 weeks ago. We had to bring him back.
The man.
He's a legend.
The myth.
He's one of the greatest, if not
The fucking
greatest
legend.
University of Miami running back ever at the U. Willis motherfucking McGahee.
That's right. Motherfucking Mike.
Motherfucking McGahee, baby. Let's go. Oh, man. Look, there's not much we need to say. Let me just say we're sponsored by Runner. Let me get through my spiel here. You know, run over trains, collect those coins, go download in the App Store, Google Play Store. And if you're not subscribed, please click that subscribe button. I don't know what you're doing. We're about to have an insane episode, so stay tuned for this. And without further ado, let's get into the action.
Before you start, I have to just take over real quick.
You do
talk
whatever you
about-
want.
When you talk about what this program has been, the dynasty after dynasty after dynasty, what in different generations and different decades, this is part of the granite right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is part of the granite, man. This guy's part of, like, if you've been around, you know what this guy is. He is part of the foundation of what this program has always been and represents, which is just fucking hard-nosed coaching, competition, a lot about what today's sports, college sports world doesn't include anymore. And you had man, we're going to get into it, man. This guy coached the fucking baddest running back room in the history of college football. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Yeah.
LSU, I don't give a fuck. Alabama, keep them all. Three dudes, 36,000 yards, throwing Najee, 36 and change. This guy coached them. Let it rip.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So, Coach, you're obviously known for your excellence at University of Miami, but most people don't know you had a legendary stint at Miami Southridge High, winning 2 state titles in 4 appearances. Can you explain to our viewers that are just tuning in? Well, Willis, I think you want to say something. Go ahead, say something real quick before we go.
Question, Coach.
Okay.
Coach, who was the best coach come out of Southridge High School?
The best coach?
Football head coach.
Been some good ones after me, you know. I mean,
After you?
yeah, there have
Or
been.
were you the
Mark
one?
Wandola,
Were you the one? Then what's the other guy who won all those championships with?
Billy Roll.
Not Billy. Who won with the Davis brothers? What was his name?
I won with the Davis
I
brothers.
thought he said he didn't coach. He said he didn't coach with them.
Yeah, the Davis brothers.
I had in 1993, with the Davis brothers. We beat Manatee 69-36 in the state championship game.
So you did coach him.
Oh, yeah.
He just asked you that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I coached Davis and Irvin. I coached Cedric Irvin, Davis, Lamont Green, who just passed.
Yeah, saw that.
Lamont just passed.
know
He
Lamont.
had he had stomach cancer. A shame. He was USA Today Player of the Year. As a matter of fact, the Columbus Touchdown Club brought him to Ohio, and I spent the weekend with Archie Manning and Peyton Manning. And Lamont's dad died, and I spent the whole weekend up there. And then they gave Archie the offensive player, Lamont the defensive player, and Lamont got the player of the year over Peyton Manning that year.
Yeah, I remember.
Lamont started at Southridge since he was in 9th grade. He was a stud.
Yeah.
And his brother, I just saw his brother at Lamont's wake. James played for me in '83.
Wow.
Coach, how did coaching start for you from the very beginning?
Well, it's funny, I got hurt in high school, so I got a real bad concussion. The old Rydell helmets used to have these straps that came up and a cord, and the cord rotted, and I hit this guy Carter Burris, who played at Michigan State, good back from Columbus, and I dropped my head. I ran a stunt inside, and I lost my balance, and this knee hit my head, and I had a real bad concussion, so I couldn't take a scholarship. So I started to be a carpenter. And for a good Jewish kid, you can't be doing that. And you can't be working in the hot sun and,
I'll second that.
Let
me stamp that one.
I went to CW Post up in New York.
Yeah.
And they only could give me a quarter scholarship, but it was like Miami. It was real expensive. I think it was about $7,000 then. But I had put away money because I was in the carpenter's union. I was making good money back then. And I went up there. I was going to play ball up there, and then when I went up, I had never seen snow. I was 20 because I was raised here. I was born on Miami Beach, raised here. Never saw snow. I get up there. They said, "Oh, didn't you get the letter? We didn't accept you." I said, "What?" And I finally got in, and I got a 3.0 GPA. Then I transferred to Memphis State and just majored in PE. When I came back to Miami, my head coach was at Carl Park, and he introduced me to a guy named Frank Downing, who coached at Jackson, coached with Brodsky and those guys. And he hired me. Guy was a student of the game, not a great coach, but a student of the game. And, that's where I started it. I started there. Freddie Goldsmith was the head coach at Duke and the head coach at Rice, and, he worked with Kenny Hatfield at Arkansas. Freddie was, and I went to elementary school together, and we wound up coaching at Carl Park together before he, went and with his career in the college. So
Kenny Hatfield,
that's where
great
it started.
Coach, man, you're going back. These are some great names, man.
1968.
Mm-hmm. Kenny Hatfield.
And so that's my
head coach, tough.
And my dad, my head coach got me that job. Joe McNulty.
Mm-hmm.
And, I didn't know. Real quick story. I got married in 68, and I told Phyllis, well, I got a meeting with Frank Downing. And we used to meet at his house. He has a little room off the side, and he had a projector in there. So I said, Phyllis, I'm going to meet. I think I'm going to get the job at Carl Park. I go there. I got there at like 7:30 in the morning, and we started talking, and we were talking. And then Marilyn brought us some lunch, and we were talking and talking and talking. Next thing I know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I never called Phyllis. There were no cell phones at that time and everything else. I got home. She was crying. The pillow was wet. And that's how my career started, and that's the way my whole career went. I just threw myself into it, and I went away. I was telling these guys here, I went to Florida A&M to learn the offensive game from Rudy Hubbard. And that's how my career started.
Oh, what a story.
I just kept learning and learning and learning.
Mm-hmm.
You learned from A&M?
Florida A&M I went to.
Wow.
6 springs and 2 summers. Brought my whole staff up there.
What'd you think of the band?
I never saw the band. I was watching film, man.
I got a legit question for real.
Yeah.
Who was the best running back you seen in Dade County? High school, period.
Man, and that was something I was going to go with,
I had
too.
a kid. Listen to what I'm saying. I had a kid named Tony Smith. It was 1979.
He was amazing. I remember him.
Tony Smith, I took out the first series of the third quarter in 8 games. I had to take him out. He already had 200 yards. I mean, the guy.
He went to Florida State, right?
He went to Florida State and played fullback for Greg Allen and Roosevelt Snipes.
Yeah.
And he weighed 179
Rosie
pounds.
Snipes,
Fuck
man.
people up, man.
Wait, huh?
That fullback fucks people up.
Hey.
Man,
He played fullback. They put him in the Gator Bowl. They finally put him at tailback. He broke the Gator Bowl record, rushing record.
I remember
And
that
then
kid. I got a question on the heels of that. Okay, because that was a question. Will's jumped me on that question.
Yeah.
Elvis Peacock, Freddie Miles, like
They were the same year. Tony
Busta Rhymes, like
Tony was the junior that year. He won the rushing title that year.
Like, is that like the pantheon of Dade County running backs?
They were good because Peacock went to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then Freddie, Freddie never really made it.
Yeah, he was
I
small.
coached him in an All-Star game.
No problem.
Where did Freddie go?
I don't even remember him going to college.
I don't think he went to college.
Yeah,
and
no
then
problems.
Yes,
and then Frederick, the quarterback, was good. Blue came to Miami, but never. He was a slot. He never really made it.
Nevin, I'm shocked at you. You think I wouldn't know who Freddie Miles
Man.
was? I went to Miami Springs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right. That's where
he went to
started,
Springs with
Yeah.
Buddy Goins.
Yeah.
Buddy
played for
Goins,
Goins.
right.
And Goins
Yeah.
just passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you ask, Tony Smith could have been in your category. He
No,
went
not
that-
Mike. I'm talking all running backs. Period.
Well,
Like
I didn't
Freddie
see
Miles
you.
did.
I didn't see you.
Yeah, I wasn't a running back like that in high school.
not in high school. You
I was
you
all right.
really developed, and you were unbelievable in college. But I would say Gore probably
Gore,
had to be
yeah.
one of the best.
Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Gore's better than Easterling.
Yeah. Gore was better than anything. And there's a guy, Darryl Cox, the guy that had the Southridge job before I did, that got in trouble with stealing a motor. Darryl Cox was a hell of a football player, played at Kentucky. He was really good. I'm trying to think of what else. The guy just passed away, Pistol Pete Williams, who played at Navy and played at Miami High. He's 97 years old, just passed. He was a hell of a back at Miami High. He was really good.
Wow.
I mean, you go back a long. You can
Man.
go back a long way.
This is
With a lot of
way
good back.
like just
Yeah.
sit,
But I
in
would
your,
say
sit in
Gore.
your lane.
I would say Gore.
Yeah, man,
probably.
he was electric. I saw him against. I want to say it was Northwestern. Man, he put up like 200 in the first half, but they were getting crushed. So they sat him because they know he was just going to be target practice for the defense the rest of the way. Man, yeah,
But there's
Gore's
been
up
some
there.
great Your uncles were good.
I heard.
They were good at Gables, man. Your uncles played for Cody's. They were excellent. They were good players, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring Larry Bluestein in for this next go round when we do this.
Yeah,
right. That
Larry.
because I could sit and talk this shit
Larry,
all day.
Larry's great.
Man, all day. He knows.
Larry Bluestein.
He's the recruiting
recruiting
analyst, but
guy.
he's the AI of
Oh yeah,
Dade County and high school sports.
he knows it.
Oh, does he know his shit? He knows his shit.
So Don, you had 4 appearances as a in championships at Miami Southridge, won 2 of them. Then in '84, Jimmy pulls you. You go to Miami.
No, Jimmy didn't pull me. That's
Snell.
another story. I was in Dallas. We had just lost to Manatee in the state championship game. Joe Conan's a hell of a coach. We just lost. Should have won the game. We lost on an inadvertent whistle. We recovered a fumble, and I gave it back to them, and they scored. And then the game ended on the 11-yard line with us going in to score. But I saw Howard at the convention. Hey, how you doing? Because I used to try to get kids in college. I brought my films and stuff. So I saw Howard, and I didn't think anything of it. I'm doing woodlife in my deck out in the side of my family room, and I get a call from Howard. He says, "I want you to come in. I want to talk to you. Can you get here?" I said, "Well," I got a shower. I can be there about half an hour, 45 minutes. So I showered and went in, and he says, "Listen," and he says, "Mike Archer's going to LSU. I'm making Olivedati the defensive coordinator." He says, "I want you to come in and coach linebackers. You want the job?" Now, the team I had, we just lost the state championship. The team I had came back. We went back to the state championship the next year. They were good. I mean, I had great players coming back, really good players. And I said, let me check with my wife. And then he says, "You got any questions?" I said, "Yeah, what about retirement?" He pulled the fucking pipe out of his mouth. He says, "I don't want to talk to anybody that wants to retire." I said, "Forget that one," and I went home. And I went home, and I said, "Phyllis," I said, "Howard just offered me the job. I think I'm going to take it." I didn't even know what I was making. I think when I got my first job at Miami, I was making like 32, I think. He said, "We'll give you a car." I said, "Well, okay." I didn't know.
That didn't even cover a game worth of bounties for me.
Yeah, and I'm not a businessman. I'm just not a business guy. I'm a ball coach, so I didn't know what I was making. And so I go in, check in. I resigned from the school system. I go in. Here's your ticket. Ice cold, man. I'm going to Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. I took Archer's place. I was going to Harrisburg. I was freezing, man. Snowing. I mean,
So did you come in? Were you there on that '83 championship team?
No, we lost the state championship. They won the national championship.
Oh, so you came on the heels.
In that recruiting.
Oh, I see. And then he takes the USFL job.
And then he leaves
Out of the blue.
and I'm sitting there
Like,
I just gave up a great high school job. I mean, if I stayed at Southridge, we might have won 12 state championships.
And there's such an unknown disconnect from what happened from that season, because Jimmy comes in from Oklahoma State, and we start off, we beat Auburn in the kickoff classic with Bo Jackson.
I'm coaching linebackers, inside linebackers.
Right? 2018.
Bruce
How was that
Fleming,
game plan?
Bruce Fleming and John McVeigh.
Okay, so, right,
Johnny
okay.
McVeigh.
So we actually, and people, a lot of Miami fans may not remember this. So Jimmy Johnson comes in on the heels of Schnellenberger winning a title, right? Like, and everyone loved Miami because we were a big underdog. We weren't gangsters yet. We were underdogs.
Underdog.
Right?
Yeah.
We're like number 2 in the country. We're like, man, this is on autopilot. We give up a 31-0 lead at halftime to Maryland. I left at halftime. I couldn't believe we lost. I couldn't believe it. Wait. Biggest comeback ever in the history of college football. And then the following week, Hail Flutie.
That's right.
It's over, bang.
And then we get beaten in the Fiesta Bowl.
And then we get beat by the Chinese kicker, John Lee, against UCLA.
Against UCLA.
Right?
Let me tell you.
How's that for a memory? Who wants to go toe-to-toe with me?
But let me tell you what happened. Jimmy, Oliver Dottie, we came in, matter of fact, I almost brought that playbook. I have the playbook when they won the national championship.
And Al Dottie had come from the Dolphins.
No, Oliver Dottie was there already. He was already there.
But he came from the Dolphins before he went to the
No, he went after. He went
he went after. All right, I got
and
it
he
wrong
came
way.
from.
Okay.
He coaches Salesianum in Delaware, I think, a high school. He had coach, but great defensive coordinator. But anyway, that playbook was Orange Barker's playbook.
Yeah.
I mean, we had
legendary.
and everything fit. In other words, your secondary coverages fit with your fronts and things like that. And Jimmy didn't like what we were doing. We opened with Auburn. They were number 1 in the country. We beat them 20-18. We come back, played Florida and Tampa the next day.
Total Bain runs that back. Last play of the game.
I want to ask you about that helmet.
But
I was right there.
Eddie Brown caught the pass in the end zone to win the game.
To put us up, right?
Yeah, to put us up.
Yeah.
So we
Brown
beat
and Turner
them.
Browns did that?
Then we go to Michigan. No. Listen to this. We go to Michigan. Now I got Fleming and McVeigh, and Jimmy says, Danny Stubbs needs to play linebacker. I said, these guys just played against the number 1, against Jackson. I mean, they're kicking everybody's ass. They're good linebackers. Jimmy moves Danny Stubbs to linebacker. Danny Stubbs don't have a nose for the ball when he's standing up. I said, Jimmy, we go to Michigan and lose 20-16 to Michigan.
Quarterback, Michael Taylor.
Yeah, whoever, and there was a couple guys.
I got you, Coach.
Yeah.
I know where the bodies are. I got it.
Don, real quick, just to piggyback what Willis was saying.
Yeah.
What was the game plan going into that Bo Jackson game? Like, how did you game plan for that?
I was a rookie coach. I was 40 years old. I was when I got the job. I was a rookie, Now, I could coach. I mean, I was good. That's all I coached was defense for my first 9 years. So, and the game, and we just got after it. I mean,
Lionel James, they had also.
They had Tommy Agee, Brent Fullwood,
Right.
and Bo Jackson.
You got a real romance going on right now.
Hey, listen to this. We held Bo Jackson to 78 yards and won the game. I just coached.
I didn't know that. I'm going to talk some shit to the Auburn fans.
You're an Auburn fan?
No, I'm going to talk shit to some Auburn fans.
Well, that was a hell of a game. Highsmith had a great game, and it was a great game.
Giant Stadium.
I wasn't even thinking about Bo Jackson at the time. Jackson didn't have a name, really.
Yeah, no name. He won the Heisman the following year.
The following year, I mean,
he had to have a name if he wanted the following year.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was like, you knew he was going to be like that, but he became.
But those linebackers, good. McVeigh played at Seattle, and I don't think Fleming played. Fleming's in Arizona now. I saw him. I talked to him maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah,
this is a coach.
Yeah. So when Jimmy comes in, did he want to bring in another defensive coordinator? Like, how did the relationship start with you?
Jimmy says all the time. When he came in, Sam Jankovic brings him in, and we're sitting in the Marriott by the airport there, and we got a room, and all the coaches are sitting there. We don't know if we got jobs or not. Oliver Dade wanted the head job. Barry Stevens wanted the head job. Bill Trout was there. I was there. I mean, there were some pretty good coaches. Axe was there. Brodsky was, everybody's there. And Oliver Dade, I'm sitting next to Tom. Jimmy comes in and starts talking, and Oliver Dade starts dropping his keys on the table. Jimmy kept his cool, man. If I was Jimmy, I would have said, hey, I'm out of here. I'll meet you guys back at the. But he kept his cool. And of course, Oliver Dade left. Wound up going. I think he went with Howard at first, but wound up going either the Dolphins.
Yeah,
or
I think he went to Dolphins.
He was in the pros for a while. It was an ugly scene, and he made Trout the defensive coordinator. He made Bill Trout, but that whole year, every time you walk down the hallway, doors were closing. Everybody's talking about, they were trying to find other jobs. I never networked. I didn't want to leave Miami. I grew up here. I love it here. I'm a Miami guy. And I never made a lot of money, but boy, I hit the lottery in football with coaching guys like Willis and AJ and Frank and Portis. I mean, those guys are the best of the best. And some of the coaches Jimmy Johnson arguably had such an influence in my career. He was unbelievable, And he got on my butt a couple of times about recruiting, but he's right. He's a bottom line guy. Get the job done. Don't give me any bullshit. Don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can do and go get players. And I never cheated. I never gave a kid a hat, a shirt, or anything else. And the way I recruited and the way I coached, I'm going to tell you straight up, bro. You come to Miami, you're going to have to compete. You got a great room. If you like competition and if you want to see how good you are, come to this place. Because if you want to see how good you are as a running back or even a receiver or anything else, you'll find out. Because if you can play at Miami, you'll be able to play on the next level. And everybody I coached played on the next level, basically, except a couple of guys. Tyrone Moss should have played on the next level, but Larry took that out of my hands. He wouldn't let me coach him. He took it out of my hands.
Would you say Jimmy was the best coach you ever coached with of all time?
Straight shooter. Not going to bullshit you. Get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Get it done, bro.
So you win the 87 title.
Yep.
You then shortly after, you took a little stint away and then you came back in 95. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yep. So under Butch Davis, and then you come in as a running backs coach. What was your process of moving from linebackers then going to offense and going to running back?
What happened at Killian, I was coaching linebacker. I was at Carl Park for 5 years, and I still keep in touch with those guys. I see those guys all the time. As a matter of fact, Manolo from Scarface, I coached at Carl Park.
Stephen Bauer.
Yeah, Steve Bauer. I know. I coached him. He was a quarterback. But anyway, I coached.
Not know that.
I coached linebacker. I knew you. I knew you knew.
You got me. Woo.
and so, but anyway. I was coaching there, and then Chris Vagotis, who was at Killian, said, I want you to coach my offense. I said, bro, I know nothing about offense. I've been coaching defense for 9 years. I said, I know nothing about offense. But you do. If you know defense, you know a little bit about offense.
Against it.
And he was running a slot I. Well, Freddie Goldsmith was a defensive coordinator for Rudy Hubbard in 79. He was the defensive coordinator when they won the national championship. So I called Freddie up. I said, Freddie, Chris Vagotis wants me to coach the offense. Could you introduce me to Rudy? They won the national championship. Rudy recruited Archie Griffin, who won the Heisman back-to-back. And their signature play was the sprint draw. And so I went up there. And I went to a lot of colleges to learn football. I just kept going to colleges and writing up clinic notes and selling them and things like that. But Rudy Hubbard, he'd bring me in and he'd go on the board. He'd say, this is it, and this is how we block this, and these are our line calls and everything else. Take a look at these films. If you have any questions, let me know. Exactly what he said on the board, you saw it on the film. A lot of guys would tell you a bunch of stuff and give you film, and you never saw it on the film that they were talking about. So I went back 6 springs and 2 summers. I brought my whole staff. I put my offensive line, and I had the leading rusher in town every year almost, and that's how it started. I was coaching running backs at Southridge.
I got a curveball question that just dawned on me.
Go ahead.
Okay, so were you coaching? You were still with us when Edrin had that big game against UCLA, the 299. So here's a question. So That's really when we made a little bit of a splash back.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's when we
That
like
was it.
really just reappeared. The Florida State game 2000 when we were back, but us just having a blip back oxygen was that UCLA game because it was postponed because of the hurricane and whatnot.
right.
So here's a question for you.
That's
So
unbelievable.
you're the running backs coach. So we're running 3rd and 15 draws to Edgerrin. 3rd and 15, we're running draws. Are you calling that because UCLA's defense is so piss poor?
No.
Or like, what's going through your mind? Like, because I always wondered about that back when.
Edgerrin, like all the backs, you know, if you talk to him, you know, he at one time he wanted to leave, and you know, it's tough to sit there when you're that good and you know you're that good.
We need to get to
Am
that.
I right? I mean,
No,
you know,
we're coming there. We're going. We're going to get there.
Edgerrin was the same
Getting through
way.
the
He
old
was,
guard first, and we're
Willis,
coming.
Edgerrin was alternating with James Jackson.
Yeah, yeah.
And James Jackson was good. James Jackson played for 6 years in the league. Edgerrin played.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
played. Nighty played. Portis played. They're
There was
all
no end.
pro ball players.
There was no end. You could have went to anyone in the rotation.
But Edgerrin said, "This is the game for me, man." He was so focused.
Licking his chops, just.
He says, "I'm going to make my name in this game."
And he did.
And
He
and
went
that's
right
what-
into the top
Nevin, after we got our ass kicked at Syracuse.
47.
I'm talking
Oh,
ass
60.
kicked.
Yeah. They hung that big number on
Yeah,
us.
yeah, big number.
Yeah, yeah.
And he came in and had a great game. But we were a lot, you know, and you know who played
Yeah.
fullback for Edgerrin was Nick Williams, Lucci. And Nick is a good football player, man. Nick had tailback talent. He was a big guy. But you start looking at some of the blocks he made, I mean, that was a great fullback.
I was just thinking, man, we were running draws on 3rd and 15. I'm like, yo, this fucking
Yeah,
defense,
I mean,
man.
it was
I remember that, yeah.
great game.
So
Yeah.
I want to bring in obviously Willis into this now, coming back
Yeah.
into this 2001 stuff. But you come in '95, you have this Pell Grant scandal that you guys are still limited on scholarships. How do you go after guys like Willis and Portis? I mean, obviously it's getting closer towards the when you were coming off the Pell Grant scandal. But what was your priorities with Butch Davis on how you selected specific guys? Because you had such a limited, you know,
No margin for
scholarship.
error.
No margin
Funny,
forever.
It's funny you asked that because I listened to the podcast that Nevin was talking about Butch.
Mm-hmm.
Butch don't get the credit he deserves.
Oh, my God.
Butch is good now. I coached with Butch 11 years. Butch knows talent, man, and he's good at it, and he presents himself really well in his houses and things like that. There wasn't really. I never cheat. I'll take it back. We were in the Orange Bowl, you know, in recruiting. We were in the Orange Bowl, and I was recruiting Lamar Thomas. And Lamar is going to North Carolina State. I said, "Well, are you fucking shitting me? You're going to North Carolina State? Were you out of your fucking mind?" You know, he was Mr. Basketball. He was a hell of an athlete in Gainesville. And so Mike Irvin was walking by. We were at the Seaquarium. We took the kids to the Seaquarium. And I'm on the phone with him at the Seaquarium. I said, "Mike, come here." He's going. This guy. I said, "Lamar Thomas is going to North Carolina State. Talk to him." Talked to him about 5 minutes. He's coming on a visit.
Yeah.
And he came on a visit, and we couldn't get him down here. And once we got him down here, we couldn't find him to get him back to Gainesville.
Greatness recruits greatness, man. That's what it was,
and
man.
that was it. And that was cheating. And that's the only time I ever cheated.
Yeah, that's not.
You know,
that's
but
not
that's
cheating.
not
No.
a, you know, to
That's
me
not
that's
cheating.
not
No.
cheating. You know, and so that was it. But you know, Butch was creative with it. You know, he was putting, you know, Moss on track scholarships, and you know they were doing different things. I mean, shit. The only losing season I was there, I think it was a 5-7 season or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Shit, we had 54 scholarship athletes.
Yeah. Yeah. You had me playing safety,
Yeah,
right? I mean, this guy was playing fucking.
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Mike.
horrible, man. So,
No pun intended.
Mike playing Mike.
and let me tell you something. You know, Erickson won with our kids, with Jimmy's kids.
Yeah.
And then it just like it happened with a little bit with Larry.
Everybody wanted
Autopilot.
everybody
It
kids.
started
on
going down.
autopilot.
It's like, you know what it's like recruiting at Miami? It's like feeding a monster. How do you get a guy like a Willis? How do you get a Frank or a Willis McGahee, Edgerrin? How do you get these guys? I mean, these are the elite of elite. They have the best seasons ever. You know, an Andre Johnson, Santana Moss, or Reggie Wayne. How do you get guys like that? You say, oh, you're not doing as well in recruiting. Yeah, they're all number 1 round draft. How do you keep getting number 1 round draft? It's very difficult, man. It got very hard to recruit to get that kind of caliber of kid. And everybody says, well, Miami's bad and the kids are, they're kind of wild. Let me tell you what, they're pretty focused, most of the guys at Miami. You don't win 158 games if you ain't focused. And I showed you the book here. They took that, the test. I had a test of 80 plays. They had to block everybody. They had to do the line blocking, the running back blocking. It was pretty detailed on what they had to do. I mean, it wasn't an accident winning 158 games. We had great coaches, great players, and I'm thankful. Like I said, I hit the football lottery, not the money lottery.
Show me a college coach that's put in running backs in the NFL like this guy.
Never. Coach the greatest room ever.
I mean, I don't listen. I'm whoever's what. Show me.
This guy's going to be good. The Merritt, I like Merritt.
Yeah.
I like the.
That's my guy.
Huh?
That's my guy.
Good guy, bro.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Shout out to Coach
And
Merritt.
good coach.
So let me ask a question.
Go
So
ahead.
you got a room of Clinton Portis, Frank Gore, Willis McGahee, Najee Davenport, James Jackson, I think had just gone, right?
Jared Payton.
Jared Payton.
And Quattrin Hill.
Quattrin, and Jason Gathers, who...
Jason Gathers was good.
Right? Wait. So how do you look at that room and say, you're starting? Like, what's going through your mind? Is it pecking order by seniority? Like, I don't want to steal this guy's thunder because I know he's got a hard on for this topic. Like, I'm just telling you. We've spoken about this.
They all did.
Yeah.
They all did.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You start, Willis. It was hard. It's hard. They all wanted to play. There's only one damn ball. But my thing was, every one of those guys had pro potential. Every single one of them did. So the guy, I'll give you an example. I don't know if you were there. Were you there when James was there, Jackson? Okay.
Oh, that was the worst. Oh, my God.
He was a great, not surly, not nasty, always a smile on his face. Never did what he was supposed to do.
That damn Portis.
It was a pain in the ass. James Jackson. So James comes in and he goes, "How you doing, Coach?" I said, "Hey, you missed training room. What happened?" "Oh, Coach," he says, "I just overslept. I'll get it next time." And then I get another thing. "Oh, you missed class." Now I'm not into running guys. So James, I said, "What's this?" He says, "Oh, I forgot about it." And I said, "Bro, let's get this straight." I said, "I ain't going to run your ass." I said, "What I'm going to do is I'm going to start dropping letters of your name, your last name." And I said, "When you get down to all the letters gone," I said, "I won't even know who the fuck you are." I said, "So don't miss anymore." So he comes walking down the hall one day. He just, "Hey, Coach, how you doing?" I said, "Hey, On, how you doing?" I said, "You lost all those letters, bro." He said, "Damn." He says, "I better get going." That's when he started going to class.
Yeah. Great stuff, man.
So in '99, you recruit this guy to come in. Can you walk us through the relationship? How'd that start with you guys?
Well, you know what's funny? With him, I knew his mom. Because my defensive coordinator taught Janie at Jackson. So it was kind of easy. I mean, I knew him. Plus, I saw his uncles. I knew his uncles, and I was kind of excited about him. I did, I wasn't big on the transferring thing. I'm kind of a loyalist. He started out at Springs with the Goins, and then wound up transferring to Central. And I think he got hurt your senior year, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he got hurt his senior year. And we had recruited Nigel from Central. Nigel was at Central, too. And I wasn't big on that. But he physically, when he came in, flat out stud. I mean, he runs probably 4.3, maybe a 4.28. I don't know. I mean, he could carry every weight on the weight room out on his shoulders. He and DJ were really great cleaners, great squatters. I mean, they could do it all. This guy physically, without a question of a doubt, physically is the best guy that ever came to Miami. He was ready to go as soon as he walked in.
I was just telling that story last night. We were speaking with somebody, and obviously, Willis's injury in the Fiesta Bowl was just catastrophic
Devastating.
for all of us, right? As Miami fans, and even if you weren't a Miami fan, right? Just based on how fucking unbelievable that year was for him, right? But the greatest testament to this guy was not, and I said this yesterday, he knows it, wasn't the fact that he ended up still in the first round. You should have seen the rehab that this kid was going through after that shit. And I watched it live, and it was, you had to see it, man. And like my girl, it's like, I can't watch this. I'm like, yeah, fuck, me neither. Like, yo, it was crazy.
You know, Nevin, it's funny you say it because you remember all the pro scouts that came to see you after, it was 5 months, I think. Mm-hmm. Might have been 5 months of rehab. I think he ran a 4.7. He was squatting.
Medically groundbreaking.
He was squatting like 185.
Medically groundbreaking.
He was fucking unbelievable in 5 months. Mm-hmm. He worked his ass off to get back. That's why he still went in the first round.
It's
a lot of guys.
What a testament, man!
Yeah.
Like what a test. That's really who Willis McGahee is as a football player, right there. The toughness. I'm just telling you, man. Like I watched it. The scar with. You had to see it live in color, man.
So with all of this talk, go ahead, Willis. Why didn't you start on all these people get in front of you? I know you have a feeling
That's
about
a great question.
this.
I don't